What's going on, everybody? It is your boy Zamboni. I'm a musician and astrologer, and it is time to talk about the astrology of the week ahead. This week starts right now. We've got the full moon in Scorpio happening like right now. Tonight's going to be a super bright moon, and last night was as well. Full moon in Scorpio is, so the full moon is always going to be like kind of big feelings, right? Full moon in Scorpio especially is going to be big feelings around like threats, sensitivity, and safety, and this sort of thing. Like, am I doing the kinds of things that I need to do in order to be safe in this otherwise pretty dangerous world that I'm living in, and this kind of thing. So big feelings around that are looking like they're going to come through with this moon. What's interesting about this here is that it's opposite to Uranus as well. Uranus is in late Taurus, and that's where the sun is, and the sun is actually going to be approaching this conjunction to Uranus in late Taurus for basically the whole week, where it's just kind of like getting closer and getting closer and getting closer. And so Uranus is the planet of upset, of disruption, of innovation sometimes. So a lot of times Uranus, I talk about breakups, breakdowns, breakthroughs, break free, break away a lot with Uranus. So the suddenness and the break shows up a lot of times with Uranus, right? And so on a good day, a breakthrough will look like an invention of some sort. It's going to look like some kind of eureka moment. It's going to look like, oh, I have this idea. There was a sort of flash of insight, and now I know something, or I have this idea that I can, especially in Taurus, it's going to be like, oh, I can build it out. I can make something physical happen with this. And especially since we can see that stuff in Taurus was always ruled by Venus, who is currently in Aries. Venus in Aries is going to be very much focused on the action orientation of the thing, especially since this Venus in Aries is still approaching a trine to Mars in Leo. They're just hanging out in a trine together, moving at almost the same speed, and so just chilling in this trine all week. I don't think it even perfects next week. It'll be the week after that, I think. So we just get this Venus-Mars trine for quite some time, which looks very actionable. It looks very effective. It looks very good. It doesn't look it doesn't look super cooperative in the way that we might think about Venus as typically trying to be. Venus tends to want to push toward smoothing things out and togetherness and harmony and cooperation and this kind of thing, right? This Venus in Aries, I have found it to be pretty combative. It's fighty. It wants to be in your face. I've seen a lot of people having trouble in the relationship space, not just in romantic relationships, but definitely in romantic relationships. I've been seeing a lot of this, but not just there, also in friend relationships and in boss relationships and this kind of thing. Like the sense of I need to push back on something, or like the stuff is feeling like, yeah, combative is maybe a good word here, where it's just, or competitive, like I feel like moving on something, and like if somebody else feels away, then like that's hard for them and I need to get going with it. So this Venus is ruling the Sun-Uranus conjunction that's going to be happening all week here, right? So there's something about innovation that I think could be potentially useful in like defeating enemies or something like that. Insofar as innovating and getting a better idea is good for you in your business, relationship, life situation, then this is going to be a really good week for leaning into that kind of thing. But it also looks disruptive. If you want to know where in your life you might find this kind of disruption and where you can sort of best place that kind of thing, then you can check out a 10-minute touch point. It is a reading that I do on my website. It's 10 minutes long. It's styled just like this weekly astrology forecast, where I talk to the camera and you ask your question, and I extrapolate based on what I see in your chart. People have been saying really nice things about it. People generally feel seen by the reading, and it is super affordable and easy to do. So go to zambonifunk.com and check that out. If you would like a longer situation where we talk together, those are available as well. You can also find a bunch of cool stuff. There's music on the website. There's a podcast there. And there's a new podcast dropping this week. So that'll be fun. And go check out zamboninfunk.com. Go see what's happening, because it's pretty cute. So this week, there is a lot of moving and shaking going on, beginning today with that full moon, right? The big full moon out here looks, a full moon is going to be raucous on the chillest of full moons, just like it's when the tide is high, when we're going to be feeling a lot of feelings. Add to it that this is a moon in Scorpio, and not for nothing, we're coming off of a square to Mars in Leo as well. Mars is ruling that moon in Scorpio, so maybe that's going to be effective in some kind of way. That's with reception, but it definitely looks like the kind of thing where activity is paramount. Like, this doesn't look like the kind of sky where you do a lot of chilling and wait and see and that sort of thing. Which is interesting, because Mercury is also in Taurus this week. And so Mercury in Taurus is very good for planning things. Think about Taurus as being like the field, right? Like you want to plow the field and, grow something there. That Taurus is very much associated with, beasts of burden, Taurus being associated with bulls and cows and stuff like that. And then, also the sense of the fecundity of the earth, like the sense of fertility and fruit and all of that sort of stuff, right? And so Mercury is the communication planet. Mercury is the thinky one, the one who's going to be sort of like intellectualizing or analyzing things, right? And so analyzing the Taurus things is very good for planning. This is very good for seeing what kinds of, especially in that first decan of Taurus. I think that is Mercury has decanic dignity there. Whenever a planet has rules a decan, then there's a kind of special superpower that planet has that is kind of apart from other kinds of dignity. It's very specific, and whereas like the sun in Leo, that's in domicile, right? So that's just like the sun just doing sun stuff as sunnily as possible. Whereas Mercury in Taurus is not going to be that kind of thing. It's not going to be Mercury just Mercurying out, but rather it's going to be a very specific, in this space, Mercury really does well at planning the harvest, or like how we are going to get to the harvest, and especially imagining all of the terrible things that could happen in the meantime and planning against those. And so working out contingency plans is a great use of this kind of energy, especially if combat or competition is endemic to the place where you are, right? And so if you're in a situation where you are competing with other competitors who are in your field, who want what you have, who want the next promotion instead of you, or that all that sort of stuff, right? You want to you're in this place where you're feeling like competition is not a bad thing necessarily. Competition helps everybody stay sharp, helps everybody, even in if we're going to do Taurus, then we might see some art and music happening in this space, right? So I have been in a lot of musical situations where there was a sense of competition, where I was trying to be better than the other players were. But when everybody does that, then we get a super bad situation where the music is extra heavy, right? And so leaning into that looks like it offers a lot of strong possibility. There's a lot of energy, and things are going to be disrupted this week. There's a lot of opportunity there. As disruption is happening, then while some of it can be distracting even, and so while people are looking at all of the disruption that's going on over here, if you can zero in on the thing that really matters to you that is not necessarily related, then you might even be able to experience a kind of peace in your pursuit of that thing. So it looks like a really good week to take advantage of disruption where disruption is necessary in your life. Maybe things have become stagnant or stale in your situation, then this is a really good moment for disrupting all of that, creating a little bit of chaos and moving yourself toward your goalpost, whatever that is, especially if you've defined it during Venus retrograde. Appreciate y'all.